Welcome back to WARRP Reacts. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this with everybody you know. We've got a copyright strike going right now, and it's just murdering the algorithm for us. Just whipping it to death. Please check us out 8:30 p.m. Eastern time every Sunday.
But we don't quit.
Well, that's true. We don't quit. If the glove don't fit, you must have quit. 8:30 p.m. Eastern time on Sundays.
Is that anything?
Settle down there. Settle down there, Shapiro.
Join us, YouTube. 9 p.m. Eastern time, Saturday. Join him. Twitch.
Saturday.
I just said that.
Did you?
Time too.
Twitch.
Twitchy with himself.
Saturday night. 9.
Talks to you. Anyways, today is Patreon Tuesday. Patreon Tuesday. It's where you have an opportunity to help us steer this show. And God knows we need it because we don't know what we're doing. We're for, I can't say that word, I don't think. I'm going to go with it anyways. We're four boobs that just don't know what the fuck we're doing. Yeah.
Can't say that word?
I worry sometimes. Well, we can't say the C word.
It's not like you went boobs.
Yeah, I didn't do that. You son of a bitch.
Wow.
Patreon
Can we
Tuesday,
say the E word?
like I said, it's how you help us steer the show, and it's how you help
The A word.
Can we say the
Fluffy,
E word?
who's
A?
been
E?
T.
I.
T word?
The T word.
with dum-dums.
Hey!
Can we say the T and the A word?
We're all zoomed in now.
Zoom it in.
We're all zoomed in now.
Okay, there you
Zoom, zoom.
go. Fluffy
Fluffy.
Fluffy has earned himself yet another spot to pick where we go with this show, and he's picked this creator before, the Fat Electrician.
Mm-hmm.
Mister, I'm sorry my camera broke. Fluffy.
That's true. You had that problem
So,
just the other night. So he picked the video he picked though is titled "The Most Gangster Politician Ever," Cassius Marcellus Clay.
Oh.
I am not familiar with this person. At least I don't think I am.
Say that again?
Cassius Marcellus Clay.
If it's who I think it is, you better be familiar.
I'm pretty sure that Muhammad Ali was not a politician. So I'll read the name of the title again. The most gangster politician ever.
I'm just assuming he might not be talking about a politician, but I'm probably wrong.
Okay. Well, very confusing if he's not. Oh, he's got a baby.
He's so baby.
Baby. Get him up.
It's a riveting story.
Totally remember
Really
that
good.
sound.
All right,
Totally
we gotta
remember
go.
those sounds.
I got to tell the
That's
internet
awesome.
about the guy I named you after. Okay, you got to go hang out with mom now. Today we're talking about the most gangster politician in American history, ladies and gentlemen, Cassius Marcellus Clay, aka the Lion.
The lion what?
I was wrong.
I wasn't thinking Muhammad Ali.
I wasn't either.
I wasn't either, just based on the fact that it was a politician.
Cassius Marcellus Clay, aka the Lion of Whitehall. Whitehall being his family.
Yes.
I was also going, I don't think that Muhammad Ali's middle name was Marcellus.
Well, that's possibly true too. I don't know.
Second
don't
you
know.
said Marcellus, I was like, probably not him.
I wonder if he actually named his child after Cassius Clay.
Marcellus Clay, aka the Lion of Whitehall. Whitehall being his family home that he grew up in Kentucky as the son of one of the richest slave owners in all of America. While going to college at Yale to become a lawyer, he would attend a speech from a famous abolitionist by the name of William Lloyd Garrison, and that speech would change the entire trajectory of Cassius Clay's life as well as American history. It is at that moment that Cassius Clay decided he was not only going to be quietly opposed to slavery, but that he was actively going to fight against it. He would be set down the path to become the most influential abolitionist of all time. Oh God.
I like the cut of this guy's jib so far.
Very nice, yeah.
Okay.
He's being interrupted.
I have to do the ad. Hold on. Sorry for bothering the video. Real quick, this video is brought to you by the biggest sponsor of the channel and my favorite sporting goods store, Shields. They've got over 30 retail locations
We are not sponsored by these folks.
No.
Well, let it play anyways.
across the
We'd
United
love to
States
be,
and an
though.
even better online store that I'm going to have linked down below. And if you use my code, you're going to get free shipping. They've got everything you could imagine there. This is where I got this shirt. It's where I got this backpack. All of it was on sale. It was a great deal. Again, use my code down below. You're going to get free shipping. Back to the video. Oh, wait, hold on.
If you're interested, his link is in our description for this video, so you can go get the information from there. Yes, AJ.
You give him the watch.
take a wild stab at this and say he probably didn't pay for that shirt or that backpack. They
He
probably
might have.
sent it to him.
He might have. You don't know. Maybe he likes the store so much he purchased from them before he got the
Sponsorship.
sponsor.
I forgot to mention Muhammad Ali's original name was Cassius Clay. Yeah, he was actually named after this guy too. Anyways, back to the video. Bye-bye.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but minus Marcellus.
Yeah.
So there
If you don't know at this point in time, there's basically two different camps you could fall into for being anti-slavery. You could be an abolitionist or an emancipationist. An emancipationist is somebody that wants to vote it out over time over the next 5, 10, 20 years versus an abolitionist, which is somebody that believes we need to
Now.
end slavery right now and they're willing to fight about it. And in the
Yeah.
case of Cassius Clay, he was willing to fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. You see, Cassius Clay wasn't just some nobody punk kid that went off to college and decided that he didn't like slavery. This was the son of one of the wealthiest slave owners in all of America. So for him to come out and voice anti-slavery views was a huge deal, and it pissed off a lot of people. So, being that this was the 1820s,
I bet it did. I bet it
Wow.
pissed off a lot of
His
people.
father being number
Yeah.
one, I'm gonna guess.
Yeah, he came home for dinner and he's
What are you doing?
What are you doing, son? What are you up to? Well,
Dad, I want to talk to you about the family business. Well, son, let's see.
Yeah.
Well, you ready to take over?
no.
No,
Not exactly.
that's not exactly where this conversation is going, Dad. All right, here we go.
and voice anti-slavery views was a huge deal, and it pissed off a lot of people. So, being that this was the 1820s, what do you do when you're pissed off? You
Duel.
challenge somebody to a duel. So,
Yes.
needless to say, the young Cassius Clay found himself partaking in an awful lot of duels, and he never, ever lost. So, obviously, he's pretty good at it, and what do you do when you find something you're pretty good at?
Well,
Do
I have a question though. When you lose a duel, I know it's not 100% guaranteed, but when you lose a duel, don't you perhaps possibly die?
I'd say about
Yeah.
95% of the time back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So I
If he was
imagine
using
until
the-
you're dead, every duel that you've been in, you've never lost.
Right?
Oh, here we go.
You want to keep doing it, right? Right.
Yeah.
So Cassius Clay starts challenging anyone and everyone to a duel that dares to oppose him. It became common knowledge in his community that Cassius Clay would be willing to fight the wind if it blew from the west and he wanted it to blow from the east. This man went on a dueling rampage, so much so that by the time he graduated college, he was considered to be the deadliest duelist in all of North America. This guy was put
That sounds like Eric, by the way. I just want to
That's
say
crazy.
That does sound like Eric. Fight the wind if it's going in a different
Yeah.
direction.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Yeah, here
the
you go.
deadliest duelist in all of North America. This guy was putting slave owners in the dirt like he was Johnny Appleseed planting fucking trees. He became known as the deadliest abolitionist of all time. So he graduates from college, goes back home as a lawyer. Shortly after that, his father passes away and leaves everything to Cassius Clay. Cassius Clay immediately frees all of his father's slaves, costing himself $40,000, which is roughly $2 million today. And then he even gives some of the slaves land and money on top of it. Absolutely.
That guy ain't fucking around. He's
Wow.
not. He's not just paying lip service. Wow. All right, here we go.
Infuriating the pro-slavery people in Kentucky. So, what do you do when half the local population hates your guts? You run for public office, and that's exactly what Cassius Clay did. He served in the Kentucky State Legislature from 1835 to 1841, and then finally lost his re-election, to which the pro-slavery crowd breathed a huge sigh of relief because they finally defeated Cassius Clay, or so they thought. Clay immediately starts traveling the country, giving amazing anti-slavery speeches, winning over hearts and minds, and this absolutely infuriates the pro-slavery people because they don't know how to stop him. You can't legally stop a guy from talking to people that want to listen to him, and they can't legally kill Cassius Clay in a duel because he's the best duelist on earth. What
Not 200 years ago. I imagine they might have had a little more success now. Here we go.
do you
Yo.
do? You've got to illegally kill him. The problem with that is they can't find a hitman that's dumb enough to think that they can take out Cassius Clay, so they have to go to the one crevice of the planet where they can find somebody truly insane enough to think that they can do this job. And that man's name was Sam Brown, an assassin from New Orleans. 1834, Russell Cave, Kentucky. Cassius Clay's finishing up one of his world-famous speeches as he pulls out a burlap sack, reaches into the sack and pulls out a holy Bible and says, "For those of you that believe in the laws of God, I make to you this argument against slavery," sets the Bible on the table, reaches back in the sack, pulls out a copy of the U.S. Constitution, and says, "For those of you that believe in the laws of man, I present to you this argument against slavery," sets the Constitution down on the table, drops a burlap sack to the ground and says, "For those of you that believe in neither the laws of God or man, I make to you this argument against slavery," as he pulls out both of his pistols and sets them on the table.
That's a badass.
Ballsy motherfucker. But We've just heard that there's about an assassination attempt. I bet you this is right when it fucking happens.
Which I think we can all agree is gangster as fuck. And at this moment, Sam Brown comes up on stage and shoots Cassius Clay point blank in the chest. Luckily, Cassius Clay never leaves home without his trusted Bowie knife, which resides inside of a metal sheath. And that metal sheath would catch Sam Brown's bullet, saving Cassius Clay's life. At which point, Cassius Clay would draw his Bowie knife and charge Sam Brown. 6 of Sam Brown's friends in the audience tried to stop Cassius Clay. He would fight his way through all 6 of them, making his way to Sam Brown, promptly stabbing him in the chest, and then turning him into a Mr. Potato Head by cutting off his nose, lopping off his ear, and gouging out one of his eyes. Then the 6 men recovered and were able to peel Clay off of him. Not knowing what to do, knowing they couldn't stop Cassius Clay forever, they panicked, probably for fear that Cassius Clay was going to start shoving this guy's facial features up his ass next. They did the only thing they could come up with to get the two apart. They picked up their friend Sam Brown, threw him over a 7-foot-high stone wall. He fell down an embankment and into a creek bed to finally get Cassius Clay away from him. Somehow, Sam...
That sounds like a tournament motherfucker.
Wow.
Dude.
God damn. I don't think I know anybody that angry.
The human embodiment of a fucking honey badger.
Yeah, right? Well, what fucking luck that fucking thing blocked the knife and blocked the bullet and didn't destroy the sheath so bad that he couldn't pull the fucking knife out.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Somehow, Sam Brown survived, but not only was he lucky for that, he was also dumb as fuck because he then decided to take Cassius Clay to court because apparently after Cassius Clay stabbed him the first time, they were even on the whole assassination attempt thing, so Cassius Clay should go to prison for mayhem. So Cassius Clay calls upon his older cousin, one of the best lawyers on the planet that had never lost in open court with over 40 years of experience, Henry Clay. Henry Clay goes into court and his entire defense for his cousin is, and I quote, "Your Honor, this is just standard behavior for..."
This is just standard behavior.
But also, hold on.
Hold on.
I want to see his fucking face again. Oh.
Just standard behavior for a Kentuckian. And the
I was going to say that I knew Bernie Sanders had been alive for a long fucking time. So the picture that was Henry Clay.
judge is just like, "You're innocent. Free to go. That's it. Best court case ever." Literally walks in and just goes,
I thought this was America. Huh? Isn't this America? I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
So after Cassius Clay was found innocent, Henry Clay decides that he's going to run for president, and Cassius is going to help him campaign. Cassius is going to tour the country, giving speeches, saying, hey, vote for my cousin. Here's the rule with that. Henry Clay told him he's only allowed to tour the northern states because he's actually legitimately concerned that if he sends Cassius to the south, he's going to shoot so many fucking slave owners in duels that it could be considered voter fraud. So Henry Clay ends up losing the presidential election, and Cassius moves on to his next life adventure, which is...
And it sounds like that wasn't hyperbole either. Oh my God.
That's fucking hysterical.
Now.
Holy shit.
Murderous motherfucker.
He's going to shoot so many fucking slave owners in duels that it could be considered voter fraud. So Henry Clay ends up losing the presidential election, and Cassius moves on to his next life adventure, which is becoming an author and writing anti-slavery news articles. The problem with that was none of the newspapers were willing to publish him, so he says, fuck you, I'll start my own newspaper, The True American. Now, as I'm sure you can imagine, starting an anti-slavery newspaper in fucking Kentucky in 1845 was not very popular, and his business would receive death threats pretty much every day, some of which were written in blood. So Cassius Clay, in true Cassius Clay fashion, says, fuck it, I guess we're gonna fight about it. He then proceeds to up-armor his entire business and his printing office. He covers the entire front of the office in a large iron sheet. He installs several cannons down corridors, stocks the entire thing with loaded guns.
I thought he was going to say several cannons on top of the roof. Nope. Down corridors.
Down corridors, god damn it.
Walk in the hallway, bitch.
Sounds like a man after my own heart. Jesus Christ.
He's
I wanna have
making
cannons in my...
murder boxes.
Yeah, right.
Covers the entire front of the office in a large iron sheet. He installs several cannons down corridors, stocks the entire thing with loaded guns, and rigs it to explode. Here's the thing, he also doesn't expect his employees to fight to the death for him, so he installs an escape hatch and instructs them to escape if anything goes down, because he's going to fight the entire mob by himself. How's he going to do that? As soon as you walk in the only door to get into that printing office, you find yourself in a long, narrow corridor with iron on each side, just wide enough for a single man to get through. Cassius Clay is going to stand in that narrow corridor and fight the entire mob one man at a time. Literally the mentality of, if you have a problem, take a number, I'll kill you in a minute. This man recreated the entire battle of fucking Thermopylae with 300 Spartans, except he's going to do it all by himself. If you think fucking with John Wick's dog is a bad idea, the last thing you want to do is fuck with Cassius Clay's printing press, because this man is determined to defend the freedom of speech with the right to bear arms at any cost. Obviously, this escalates to Cassius Clay defeating an entire mob single-handedly. Right? Wrong. The mob, being full of, you know, super brave pro-slavery men that know they're doing the right thing, do the honorable brave thing and wait till Cassius Clay is bedridden with typhoid fever, so they know he isn't going to show up. They show up to his business at night and burn the place to the ground because they're a bunch of fucking bitches. Now, Cassius Clay recovers from typhoid fever. He reestablishes a newspaper in Cincinnati, Ohio, which is an anti-slavery stronghold. The only problem with that is, being an anti-slavery stronghold, there's not going to be any conflict, and that's fucking boring, so Cassius Clay moves on to another life adventure, volunteering in the Mexican-American War. While serving the Mexican-American...
What the fuck?
This dude, this fucking dude.
He's got what is it? Hopeless wanderer? What is it? It's that syndrome where you gotta be fucking Jesus Christ.
Nomad.
No, I don't know what it is. I can't remember. Somebody will tell me in the comment. All right, here we go.
Moves on to another life adventure, volunteering in the Mexican-American War. While serving in the Mexican-American War, he would be a captain leading a group of Kentucky soldiers, and they would be captured pretty much immediately, and he would spend the duration of the entire war as a POW. While serving as a POW, some of the men under his command would escape, meaning that the Mexican military was then going to put the rest of his unit to death. Cassius Clay said, hey, don't kill my men, just kill me and my other fellow officers. We're the ones in charge. It's our fault that those men escaped. It's our responsibility. Please let the lower enlisted men go home. The Mexican military was so impressed by this that they decided to spare everyone, including Cassius Clay, and he would return home a war hero. Returning home from the war in 1848, he didn't really know what to do, so he starts giving his famous speeches again. This time
He pulled a John McCain.
He did.
You did.
He did.
Returning home from the war in 1848, he didn't really know what to do, so he starts giving his famous speeches again, this time leveraging his newfound title as a war hero. So obviously it doesn't take long for him to piss everybody off. He faces yet another assassination attempt. This time 6 brothers from a wealthy slave-owning family show up, the Turner brothers. They show up with clubs and knives and guns, and they beat the living shit out of Cassius Clay with the clubs. They stabbed him multiple times. Cassius Clay whips out his trusted Bowie knife, starts opening up these brothers like they're fucking Amazon packages, making his way to the lead brother and stabbing him an excessive amount of times. We don't know how many times, but we do know it was a lifetime supply. Killing the lead brother, ending the assassination attempt, Cassius Clay would fall to the ground, nearly dead, and this would be the closest anybody ever came to actually killing Cassius Clay. When he was asked about it later on in life, all he said was, I felt the utmost indignation, which translates...
Wow.
I felt the utmost indignation.
Indignation.
Balls of fucking steel, this guy.
Uh-huh.
Here we go.
All he said was, I felt the utmost indignation, which translates to, I was fucking annoyed. This man almost died from an assassination attempt, and he has the same attitude towards it that I have towards fucking fruit flies, okay? This dude is so metal, he deserves his own spot on the periodic table of elements. Cassius Clay then makes a full recovery from his injuries, starts giving his speeches again. 1853, he donates a large chunk of his land to John Fee, who uses it to found Berea College, the first co-educational and multiracial college in the South ever. Fast forward to 1860, Cassius Clay is giving speeches in Illinois where he meets a politician by the name of Abraham Lincoln, and they get along great. Cassius Clay is then slotted to become Abraham Lincoln's vice president. However, he's a little bit too Cassius Clay to be an actual big-name politician like that, so they give the job to Hannibal Hamlin, and Cassius Clay becomes the ambassador to Russia. 1861 rolls around, the Civil War breaks out, Cassius Clay is in Russia. Cassius Clay not only convinces Russia to not side with the Confederates, but he convinces Russia to tell Great Britain and France that if they so much as recognize the Confederacy, Russia will go to war with them. And this was a humongous step that nobody talks about in the winning of the Civil War.
Wow, I
I
had
did not fucking know about that
no
at all.
fucking clue at
At
all.
all.
Rewind that part again.
That
I did
is,
not know any of that.
I may go back too far, but whatever.
Cassius Clay to be an actual big name politician like that, so they give the job to Hannibal Hamlin, and Cassius Clay becomes the ambassador to Russia. 1861 rolls around, the Civil War breaks out. Cassius Clay is in Russia. Cassius Clay not only convinces Russia to not side with the Confederates, but he convinces Russia to tell Great Britain and France that if they so much as recognize the Confederacy, Russia will go to war with them. And this was a humongous step that nobody talks about in the winning of the Civil War. And it is 100% because of Cassius.
Because I mean, I could totally see why, especially at that time, France and England would want to destabilize.
Sure.
I mean, they were already destabilized, but that would have that probably would have wrecked the whole fucking thing.
But
the whole
Russia
fucking
getting
pyramid.
involved.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah, that is fucking crazy. The roof.
Wow.
Out in the winning of the Civil War. And it is 100% because of Cassius Clay. Fast forward to 1862. Abraham Lincoln wants to appoint Clay a major general in the Union Army. Cassius Clay publicly refuses the President of the United States, saying that he's not going to do it until the President signs the Emancipation Proclamation freeing the slaves of the South. Wow. Cassius Clay is literally the man that bullied Abraham Lincoln into prematurely signing the Emancipation Proclamation before he wanted to. And nobody talks about it. Fast forward again to 1865. The Union wins the Great American Scrimmage. The slaves are freed. Cassius Clay has achieved his lifelong goal at the age of 55, bringing an end to slavery in the United States of America. He then goes back to Russia again to serve as ambassador until 1869, and while he is there, he helps to broker the purchase of Alaska. This man is probably the most influential person in American history that you've never heard of. After returning home from Russia, Cassius Clay would live out the rest of his days in Whitehall until the age of 80 years old, where he would be declared clinically insane, in hindsight most likely due to a severe amount of PTSD, as well as potentially dementia. He didn't die from it. He lived on for quite a bit longer. He just picked up a new hobby of fucking with the local sheriff because he was crazy now. Over the course of
That's great. Fucking with the local sheriff because he's crazy now. That's great.
because he was crazy now. Over the course of the next decade, Clay and the sheriff would have multiple run-ins that would be concluded when the sheriff and 7 deputies were repelled from Whitehall when Clay utilized his home defense cannon that he had at the top of his stairwell. At that point, the local sheriff would inform the local judge he will not be returning to Whitehall to tangle with Cassius Clay anymore unless the judge was willing to dispatch an entire company of the local militia to accommodate.
Unless what?
Home defense cannon. I love it. I love it.
Sheriff would inform the local judge he will not be returning to Whitehall to tangle with Cassius Clay anymore unless the judge was willing to dispatch an entire company of the local militia to accommodate him. Then in 1900, 2 men would break into Whitehall, and Cassius Clay at the age of 89 would manage to kill both of them, one by gunshot and one, yet again, with his trusted Bowie knife. Then in 1903, at the age of 92, Cassius Clay would die of natural causes, or as they called it back then, general exhaustion, which is the most gangster way on the planet to go out. Literally just, I'm tired now, peace. And then he left. In conclusion, when it comes to famous historical household names, there's always another man or woman lurking behind the scenes in the shadows that's deemed too rough around the edges to be in the spotlight, yet they contribute just as much, if not more, to the movement. These men and women are willing to do horrific things for terrific reasons, and when it came to Abraham Lincoln and the abolition of slavery, that man's name was Cassius Marcellus Clay, the most gangster politician in American history. Thanks for watching the video. Best Facebook channels, go buy some merch at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang, out.
Wow.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
That was badass.
I've never heard of the guy. Like, I could see why Cassius Clay's dad named him the boxer.
Oh yeah,
I could see why he named him. Wow, that is incredible. I want to find books on it now.
Home defense cannon.
Dude, that's great.
Defense.
There was so many fucking glorious tidbits in there. I'm gonna have to rewatch.
Sam Brown's friends.
Yeah. Oh my! I had to throw him over a 7-foot stone wall.
They were afraid he was going to start shoving his body parts up his ass.
And that is how he escaped him. Oh,
and that guy lived.
Yeah,
and then tried to sue him.
No, trying to get him locked up. Trying to get him locked up. And his cousin says, "That's just standard behavior of a Kentuckian."
For a Kentuckian.
Standard Kentuckian
He
behavior.
doesn't need it killing.
That is fucking.
That's great.
That is awesome.
I'm gonna have to I'm looking. I'm not even joking. Oh, Cassius
Fluffy,
play.
you're the fucking
was
man,
great.
dude.
Good.
That was
'cause
awesome.
That
That
was
was great.
fucking
That was awesome.
amazing,
You are 2 for 2.
dude. No, 3 for 3.
3 for 3.
Yes.
I
'Cause-
believe that's
Yeah, because the kid. The
Oh, yeah,
I cannot
yeah,
remember his
yeah,
name now.
Pastor
I
Ryan.
know.
Pastor
Pastor
Ryan.
Ryan. Okay, yep. I forgot that was Fluffy. So yeah, 3 for 3.
That
Bud.
was hilarious. And
You're doing good,
obviously
man. You're
informative.
doing good.
Doing good.
3 for 3. 3 for 3.
Damn. I'm going to tell everybody who manages to watch this, who has not, and who just watching it because we put it out there. You gotta go check this guy out. The fat
Oh,
electrician.
yeah.
Obviously gonna learn shit, but he's obviously really fucking funny. Gangster lean on a USS Texas. I mean, come on.
The most gangster politician of all time.
Yeah.
A phrase I never thought I would hear.
No.
And then to hear the story.
Bullied Abraham Lincoln into
That
prematurely
That was
signing
fucking
the
great.
Emancipation
That's fucking
bullied
great.
Abraham Lincoln into prematurely signing.
fucking gets Russia to say, hey, England, France, I see you over there.
Yeah.
If you so much as recognize
At
the Confederate
89.
States of America,
That's like if you
we're going
look
to
at,
war, bitch.
if you look at her, I will kill you.
Yeah,
At 89, kills a man with his gun and
92.
kills
No, 92 is when he died.
92 is when he died.
Oh,
Because he
89 is when he
tired.
killed the guy with his gun and then with the trusty Bowie knife again.
yeah.
Jesus.
Good Lord.
And that
Hmm.
one
Scared off
shot
the sheriff.
from Mr. Brown could have stopped all of it if that scabbard wasn't there.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's
my
I think
God.
like all
Whoa,
that whole story is
about that.
insane.
Think
But
about
that one thing.
Wow, think about that.
that's like a
Could somebody
butter,
else have convinced Russia? I mean, I don't know.
that's like
Maybe.
a
I don't know.
butterfly effect thing. If it would have went the other way,
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that is nuts.
That whole story is insane.
All right. well,
I'm
you
actually very happy that we listened to that because
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that. I never even knew. Cassius Clay is the same. All 4 of us. Instant.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
No. Fucking no.
fucking no. Matter of fact, this is the guy he was named after.
Yeah. That's
Well, he
crazy.
named his son that. The fat electrician.
crazy.
I mean, I assume he's telling the truth. I don't know if he was joking or not.
Wow, that I haven't looked into.
Anyways, that was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please check us out every Sunday, 8:30 p.m. Come talk with us about this. This is fucking nuts. 9 p.m. Eastern time on Saturdays. This guy, he does the guy right above me where I just stuck my finger in. He does a game stream on Twitch. He goes, oh no. Oh, we have merch. And that is in the links, is one of the links in our description where you should join our Discord because that's where we do a bunch of announcements and we got a good community over there.
And every
Oh.
time we do something, it'll notify you.
Get right into Discords.
You could
Because
use
YouTube
us as-
doesn't always do the good notification job. Discord
Bye-bye.
does.